Good morning. Borua Boye. My name is Baba Anthony, and I am the head owl with Okama Sode Temple here in Miami, Florida. I am back with another Ifa Temple service in the park. I am thankful and blessed to be living in such a beautiful place where the mornings are quite nice. The afternoons it's hot and raining, but I am very thankful for the mornings that we have. So today's topic is about kindness. Kindness seems a little bit difficult to come across these days in this climate and the world that we're in, but we should still be working towards it. As Ifa devotees, Olodumare expects us to have kindness as one of our fundamental actions that we take as practitioners, right? Kindness towards others is very important for us to have. Today's message, though, is very specific. While it deals with kindness, I want you to listen carefully to this story and see if we can understand the good and where the challenges are. I want to share a quote with you today. Charity begins at home, but should not end there. I'll say that again. Charity begins at home, but should not end there. This is a quote by Thomas Fuller. So let us jump into our Odu for today. It comes from our story, and verse comes from the Odu of Orangu Meji Eba Odu. The sea represents the world, and the lagoon represents human beings therein. No expert swimmer can swim the length and breadth of the sea, which represents the world. This is Ifa's message for Abe, who wanted to take the title of the benefactor. He was advised to offer a prayer. So here we have a story of a man named Abe, excuse me, who is extremely successful. He was generous. He was kind-hearted. Um, he was so good that many people, through him, through his support, became influential themselves, rose up to become successful themselves. He was someone that fed the hungry. He provided shelter. He stood behind others when they needed help, especially financially. He made sure that the weak and intimidated were not cheated. He had a lot of goodness in him. He had sponsored many community projects. He was known as a marvelous man, someone who had a reputation that extended way beyond just where he was. It was all over. Everybody knew who Abe was. And one of the most interesting things is that there were several communities that found themselves giving praise to Abe because he helped even lift those communities out of the challenges that they were dealing with. As he was doing these things, the most interesting aspect of this story is that Abe did not find himself doing things for his family. Much as they tried to ask Abe for support, he couldn't be bothered with them. One day, all of his relatives had gathered together. They decided to have a talk because, again, Abe was someone who was known for across the town, many towns, across the whole region, as being someone who's extremely generous to everyone. He gave so much, yet his family had nothing to show for it. Uh, they heard about all of his exploits, and they all had needed assistance in the same area, needed assistance in the same areas that these other folks did, but he just couldn't find himself to help them. So they had their meeting. They talked. They said, maybe we can come together, have a meeting with him to plead with him to see if he will, come to our aid because he does so much for the community. He's such a good person. Let us see if we can, you know, ask for his support in the same way that he supports the community outside. So they decided they were going to have a meeting. They were going to call Abe there and see if they could plead and have a conversation with him about, rendering his help for them. So on the day that they decided to have this meeting, Abe arrived. His family members had all come. They spoke. They talked to Abe about the challenges that they were going through. They took him through the town, through the family area, the family compound area where it was falling apart. Buildings needed repair. Some of his family members had clothing that was torn or ripped. Many of his family members were without food. They needed things that he was helping, and so they said to Abe, says, you're providing so much help to all these other people in these same areas that we need assistance. Can you assist us? Um, Abe, he didn't take so lightly to this meeting and everybody coming to beg him for things. Um, and he made it clear to them. This is where the part of the verse comes in. He made it clear to them that he said, the world is like an ocean, while human beings therein are like lagoons. He stated that no matter how good one was, the person could never satisfy the world because no swimmer can ever swim the length and breadth of the ocean. He told them that nobody could stop him from doing good for others, right? And he simply just urged his families to wait their turn. He promised that their turn would soon come and he would do for them as he has done for others. But he asked them to be patient, wait your turn. They all heard this, and the elders tried one more time to plead with him. They said, please, Abe, we understand, your generosity, and we don't come begging you lightly. We're simply we're in such a challenging place. They even started to speak more on the challenges that family members were dealing with. They had family members who were incarcerated, who, were wrongly blamed. They had, again, people's homes were falling apart, holes in the roof, clothing. People didn't have clothing. People didn't have food. They pleaded with him once again. And all Abe could say was, wait your turn. Okay. So the meeting ended. Abe went about his way and his family went about their way. And they said, okay, they will wait their turn. 18 years had passed. This was the challenge. 18 years had gone. And Abe had gotten to a point where he had fallen ill, gotten very sick. And before anyone could get to him, like any of the people from the other areas or far away could get to him, um, his life had ended from the sickness. Right? And news spread that he had passed away because he was so generous. It was from all over that the news had spread everywhere. And people were beside themselves trying to get to where Abe was so that they can show their appreciation for everything that was done for them. They had special prayer sessions, they had events, everything was being organized by all of these strangers. So they got together and started to make a parade as they started to head to Abe's home. And as they were singing while they were moving towards his home. They said, Abe is dead. Abe the benevolent. Abe is truly dead. Abe the benevolent. There is nobody that Abe did not help. Those who benefited from Abe's generosity joined in as they heard from town to town. The group grew bigger and bigger. And finally, they were coming to the area of Abe's hometown, Abe's community where his family lived. When they had gotten to that space, his family had heard, what was going on. And the most interesting thing about it is that as the people were arriving, they were expecting to see, you know, plans and events, great events for Abe, but they realized that there was nothing going on. His family had essentially buried him the same day that he had passed away, and they had forgotten that he had died. And they didn't bury him out of, our love for him. They didn't want the body to smell, and they said, good riddance. So as the crowd got closer and closer, they were looking around, and his family heard the song that they were singing as they were approaching. His family got together, and they started to sing a song. They said, "It is true that Abe is dead. Abe the benevolent. Abe is truly dead. Abe the benevolent. Abe is benevolent to outsiders and never to his blood relations. When the people heard this, they were totally disappointed. They had made a decision that even though Abe was extremely benevolent, he was an irresponsible person since he was only good to those outside of the home. Anyone, they had decided that anyone who could not benefit from their family members' generosity, influence, and benevolence, right, that they were simply just an irresponsible person. And then that was the end of the party for Abe. So I share this story, as I mentioned in the beginning, I share this story because it's a discussion about kindness. It's a discussion about kindness, and the same reason why I shared the quote at the end. Right? It is important to have kindness um, to those everywhere, right? Not just people outside of your home, but especially for people inside of your home. Right? It starts to make you think about what were Abe's family values. Right? What are the family values that we should have as practitioners of Ifa? It's something I think about. One, the most important aspect, I think, is the idea of balance. If we look at the story, Abe's generosity towards outsiders was extremely commendable. But the neglect that he had towards his family, right, reminds us that we need to have that balance of kindness within our lives. If we have that kindness, right, we start to understand another aspect of our life that is super important. It's family first. I'm sure many people have heard that before. Many other religions, many other folks, whether religious or not, have heard this idea of, your family first, your family values being that they should be family first. This balance is crucial for establishing strong family bond and trust between everyone within your family. Right? Next, we have to consider simply just the responsibility to your family members. As a father, as a husband, I'm bringing up my family in the world. I'm raising children. I'm supporting my wife. I'm doing for those that are here. I cannot leave them and allow them to suffer or deal with neglect. It's my responsibility in the position that I am in order to do good for them, just as it is all of us out there. If we have a family, we need to make sure that we're supporting them, make sure that we're taking care of them. It is our duty. If we start a family, we begin a family, we bring kids into this world, we take care of them. Right? Now, the thing that many folks may not realize about Ifa and Orisha, much of it is about establishing a legacy. Right? This religious practice is one of continuity. And we can see that within our um, major blessings that we strive for as practitioners. We can identify those blessings as long life, wealth. After wealth, we have a spouse. Their spouse, we have children, and we have Bobo Ire, all of the blessings coming together. Right? It's a religion of continuity. We want to be remembered by our family members. We want to become Orisha to our family so that we can support them when we have moved on from this marketplace. Right? But if they don't see us as someone of value, if they don't see us as someone who they can venerate, then that leaves us as irresponsible practitioners. That's something that we really, really have to think about. Another important family value I think we should strive to work towards is compassion. Right? True family values are rooted in empathy and understanding. We need to make sure that we understand the needs and struggles of our family members so that we can create a supportive environment. But think about that for a moment. Are we empathetic to those that are near us? Next, as we start to focus, as we're focusing on our family, bringing kindness, empathy, bringing the idea of legacy, connections, all those things, now we need to start thinking about how our family connects to the community. Because our family could be those outside the home. That is completely possible. But much of our work starts inside the home first. We need to allow our family to be a part of these projects so that we can all lift each other up together. I'm a firm believer that if we can integrate all of the values of Ifa and Orisha within our home, it'll start to spread itself to the community, right? Because then our children become representatives of who we are, right? Our parents are representatives. We are representatives of our parents. Now, as we get out into the community, our name, our family name, then becomes something important to the community as we continue to do well. These things can't be separate, is what I'm trying to say. Right? Community and family work hand in hand together. So we can't do one without the other. And I'm sure I remember I've shared in the past stories about doing half measure, right? Doing kindness in a half measure. Well, I'm going to be kind for this group, but not for this group. That's the first way we deal with self-sabotage. So if we can begin to understand not how to not sabotage ourselves, that'll be important. So as I wrap this up here, I want us to think about the story of Abe as we move through this week, right? Understand that Abe teaches us a profound lesson. It's important to understand the nature of true generosity. Abe himself completed many acts of kindness and benevolence and touched so many people's lives, yet he fell short when he neglected his own family legacy. All right. Abe's story reminds us all, as devotees of Ifa and Orisha, that charity should begin at home. That's what we have to think about. Charity should begin at home. As we move through our lives from day to day, week to week, year to year, we strive to have that balance our generosity, making sure that those who are closest to us are never overlooked, that they are supported as much as we can support them. Right? To be great, to be a great Ifa and Orisha practitioner, we need to make sure that our generosity is a part of everything that we do with everyone, right? It's our responsibility to those who depend on us that we are generous. And I want us to think about this story and be inspired to act with both a wide-reaching and close-knit heart, so that we're focused on our legacy and we're focused on taking care of those around us, unlike Abe was. We need that holistic approach, right? There's a lot of buzzwords in there. So we need that holistic approach. We need compassion. We need unwavering support from all folks around us, especially from those who call us family. So as I began this sermon talk, I want us to think about this quote: charity begins at home, but should not end there. Right? Charity begins at home, but should not end there. I hope you all have a wonderful and blessed week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a supporter of Okamran Sode Temple. Again, I want to share a reminder. We're going to be having Chief Coppola and some of the other Oluos from Secondarine temples here in Miami at the end of November. So we hope that you will join us for ceremonies, for talks, for uh, fellowship of Ifa. So we're looking forward to having a wonderful, wonderful time. I hope you have a blessed day. Aburu aboye, aboshishiro kwa.